Hi, my name is Kim Kevlish. I work in public affairs for FEMA, and I'm joined with
Janelle Finley, Public Affairs for Small Business Administration.
And we're here to talk about the types of federal assistance that may be available to residents in Middle Tennessee that were affected by the December 9th tornadoes and severe storms. For the case of FEMA, if you're an uninsured or underinsured homeowner or renter in the 7 declared counties, including Cheatham, Davidson, Dickson, Gibson, Montgomery, Sumner and Stewart, and you have loss or damage from the December 9th tornadoes and severe storms, you may be eligible to apply for FEMA assistance. You can apply for FEMA assistance online at disasterassistance.gov. That's the fastest and easiest way to apply. You can also call the FEMA helpline at 800-621-3362. You can also download the FEMA app, and you can also come to visit FEMA specialists in person at a disaster recovery center nearest you. For the case of Montgomery County, the FEMA has a disaster recovery center at the Clarksville Montgomery County Public Library at 350 Pageant Lane. And you can visit the disaster recovery center Monday through Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Fridays to Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. At the Disaster Recovery Center, you can apply for FEMA assistance in person, or you can come to visit us again and ask a FEMA specialist questions about your application, receive clarification on letters or information from FEMA, and receive help with writing appeals. Some types of FEMA assistance may include temporary lodging reimbursement. This may be for folks that had to temporarily evacuate their home and maybe stayed in a hotel for a couple of days. Some types of assistance may also include rental assistance. This is for folks that had sustained a lot of damage to their house and perhaps have moved to another home or apartment while they wait for repairs to be made to their permanent home. And FEMA assistance may also include the basic home repairs and home replacement, as well as coverage for other disaster expenses like moving and storage costs, medical and dental expenses, and even child care expenses, as well as furniture and some home appliances. And after you apply for FEMA assistance, you can expect a couple of things. One, within about 10 days or so of applying for FEMA assistance, you may receive a call from a FEMA home inspector. This call may come from an out-of-state or unknown phone number. So in the first 10 days, I highly encourage you to pick up the phone, because that call may be from a FEMA inspector, and they will, ask to schedule an appointment with you to make an assessment of the home and determine what it will take to make the house safe, functional, and habitable to live in. On the day of the inspector will come to your house. They will be wearing a FEMA photo ID badge. That is the best and only way to identify FEMA personnel as official. They'll make an assessment of the home and verify the damage that occurred to your home. I encourage folks to, talk to the home inspector and basically share your story about what happened to your home, and even share pictures of any damage that occurred right after the storm. Secondly, FEMA may ask you to submit supplemental documentation. For instance, FEMA may ask for proof of identity, or proof of home ownership, or proof of occupancy. FEMA is asking for this information to verify your identity and verify that the residence you are claiming on your application is in fact your home, or you are in fact living in that location. You can upload your documents to your disasterassistance.gov profile. That's the easiest way to submit documentation FEMA requests of you. FEMA will also be asking for your insurance settlement letter. It's good to note that you do not need to wait for your insurance settlement letter to apply for FEMA assistance. You can upload that at a later point to your application. FEMA will ask for the insurance settlement letter. You can upload that at a later point. FEMA does not duplicate the benefits that are covered by insurance, so that's why FEMA asks for that determination of you. And lastly, if you apply for FEMA assistance, you may be referred to the U.S. Small Business Administration. They provide low-interest disaster loans to homeowners, renters, businesses, and certain nonprofits. If you are referred to the SBA, I highly encourage you to apply for a couple of reasons. One, if the SBA finds that you're eligible for a loan, you're in no ways obligated to accept that loan, but it's a really great option to have, especially if you don't know how much, if you're working with contractors and you're trying to figure out how much the cost to repair your home will be. It's a great option to keep handy if you don't know the extent of the damage or the extent of the expense to fix the damage right now. And secondly, if the SBA finds that you're ineligible for a loan, you're then referred back to FEMA, where more forms of assistance may be available to you. And with that, I'll toss it over to you, Janelle.
Yes, thank you, Kimberly. Yes, as my FEMA partner, Kimberly, was just stating about the SBA program, you don't have to have a business to apply for disaster assistance for the Small Business Administration. We do take care of homeowners, renters, businesses of all kinds, and nonprofits. Right now in Montgomery County, at our Disaster Recovery Center, we have customer service representative there to take your application, and that's a face-to-face assistance for anyone who have received any kind of damage from the tornado that happened on December the 9th. I would like to give you some information about the Small Business Administration Disaster Assisted Loan Program. If you're a homeowner or renter, you can receive a loan for homeowners up to $500,000 for replacement or repair of any damage that might have happened through the impact of that tornado for December the 9th. The interest rate for our homeowners are 2.688%, and that's a fixed rate for up to 30 years, a federal loan. You can also apply for a loan as a renter, homeowner or renter, for personal items, including your automobile, and that interest rate is still the same, 2.68%, and it's still a fixed rate up to 30 years. We do have two business loans. We have the business loan for physical damage. If you would receive any physical damage from that tornado where it impacted for a lot of damage of your business. And also I wanted to mention about the economical injury loan, and that's a loan that's for if you needed funds for revenue or funds to pay or replace for equipment. And also I wanted to say that if you have any ongoing expenses that might need some finances, that's what that loan is for. And you don't have to have any kind of physical damage at all. It just has to be located in the county, the city and county that was impacted from that damage. This loan is up to $2 million, and it's a federal fixed loan for up to 30 years. And the rate is low as 4%. Now also I want to mention that we do have mitigation. We have the mitigation loan that is an increase to our physical damage loan for our businesses and homeowners. And that mitigation is like a 20% increase. And that mitigation is, if your loan been approved, you can have talk to your loan officer and have them to increase your loan by the 20% for the mitigation. That's also for if you want to do improvement, if you didn't have a safe wall or anything, if you want to have that added to your home or business. Our loans also is for our nonprofits, and the nonprofits are including our churches or any nonprofit organization. Their loans are 3.5%, and these loans are also up to $2 million for assistance for any kind of damage that received from that tornado that happened on December 9th. We are partners with FEMA, so our deadline date are the same. It's February the 12th. It's the deadline to get these application loans in. And also we want to know if for the economical injury, our deadline is September the 13th. You get a little longer for your deadline because of the economy may be still impacted from this disaster. Our processes is still the same. If for any reason you are denied with Small Business Administration, we do refer you back to FEMA for them to assist you for that other need program that they have. You can also go to the Disaster Recovery Center in Montgomery County, and we also have a Business Recovery Center in Clarksville, and it's at the Commission Center. You can go on our website, and that's sba.gov/disaster to put in an application. Or you can call our customer service rep at 1-800-659-2955 if you have any questions from our customer service. We do have something coming up. We have a free resource fairs coming up this Friday, February the 2nd. It's going to be from 12 noon to 6 p.m. It's going to be in Nashville. This resource fair is to help anyone that was impacted from the tornado. There's different resources that will be there, over maybe 20 organizations and agencies that will be there to help and support any survivors that receive the damage. FEMA will be there, SBA will be there, and other agencies like the Red Cross, Salvation Army, other agencies there to help and support any survivors that receive any damage from that impact. Also in the Disaster Recovery Center, the SBA representative, we are there too at the same time, and they are operating there under the same procedure as the FEMA customer service rep. The same deadline, February the 12th. And I would like for you to just remember about that resource fair that's coming up on Friday the 2nd. It's going to be at the TSC, the Tennessee State University in Nashville. And the hours of the resource fair will be from 12 noon to 6 p.m.
The last thing I want to mention, maybe folks are waiting on a determination letter from FEMA, or maybe you've already received a determination letter. If you were found ineligible for FEMA assistance, or you disagree with the amount or type of assistance that FEMA has given you, you have every right to appeal FEMA's decision. You have 60 days from the date on the determination letter to submit an appeal. If you're found ineligible, there is often a common an easy fix. Some folks may have been found ineligible because they did not submit documentation that FEMA asked of you, including the proof of identity, the proof of home ownership, the proof of occupancy. Someone may have also been found ineligible because they were unable to complete a home inspection in time. For folks that are found ineligible solely because they missed a home inspection, they can just call the FEMA helpline at 800-621-3362 and get that squared away. But for everyone else that is found ineligible for other reasons, or they just disagree with the FEMA's determination, you can submit an appeal. You have to write a letter and include your 9-digit applicant number on it. You'll sign the letter as well, and basically detail in the letter why you disagree with FEMA's determination, and that is also your opportunity to provide additional information, that the missing documentation that FEMA may be asking of you, or even additional contractor estimates or receipts, or that insurance determination letter. You know, you get your appeal letter and your supplemental documentation. You could submit that online to your disasterassistance.gov profile. That's the easiest way to do so. And lastly, I just want to reiterate that the deadline to apply for FEMA assistance is less than 2 weeks away. It is February 12th, which is also the deadline to apply for SBA physical disaster loans. And again, you may be eligible for FEMA assistance if you are a homeowner or renter that is underinsured or uninsured, and you live in one of the 7 declared counties, including Cheatham, Davidson, Dickson, Gibson, Montgomery, Stewart, or Sumner. And you have damage or loss caused by the December 9th tornadoes and severe storms. And you can apply for FEMA assistance online at disasterassistance.gov. You could download the FEMA app. You can call the FEMA helpline at 800-621-3362. And you can also visit FEMA in person at a disaster recovery center. Again, the location in Clarksville is located at the Clarksville-Montgomery County Public Library. And the FEMA staff there operates from Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Friday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you are looking for a different disaster recovery center nearest you, you can also go online to FEMA.gov/DRC. And lastly, I just want to offer up the FEMA helpline again as a resource throughout the entire application process. That number again is 800-621-3362. You can call that number to speak to a FEMA specialist about your application. You can ask questions, you can receive technical assistance, and you can also receive help with writing an appeal. Again, the deadline to apply is February 12th.